Hello and welcome to another edition of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem, a show where we answer your most pressing questions about the most recent episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved, which was Bugsy Siegel. All the questions we're answering today came from you guys via our BuzzFeed Unsolved Facebook page, our BuzzFeed Unsolved Instagram page, as well as directly on the video on Bun. The links are all here. That's what I was pointing at, in case you were wondering.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how YouTube works. In case you haven't noticed, that's not Shane.
No.
What's your name?
My name is Andrew Ilnyckyj.
You got something to plug, Andrew? I'm trying to make this easy.
Sure, I got something to plug. So you might know me from the Worth It Food Edition, but next week on BuzzFeed Video, you might see me in a Worth It Lifestyle video for the first time ever.
And by May, he means
you're gonna see it.
You're gonna see him.
If you choose to watch.
Shane says he could not be here because he, quote, is stuck in the Chicago airport because of weather. He said he also recorded a video at said airport, so we could cut to that now if you'd like.
Hi guys, it's Shane. I am stuck in Chicago because of a blizzard. I mean, can you ever really be stuck in a city like Chicago? The pizza, the bean. But yes, I am stuck here for the foreseeable future. Hope you're having fun at Postmortem. Hope you got a cool guest host, maybe Kelly Ripa or something, I don't know. But if you don't hear from me in a few days, please call the police. Send them here and tell them to bring a body back. Because it ain't looking good.
I don't know about you, seems
Wow.
like it's green screen to me.
You might have to do a whole episode on that little clip we just saw there.
I bet you anything Shane's at home right now. So you know what, we're gonna move on. But just know that I don't believe you, Shane. Haley Underwood on YouTube says, hashtag postmortem, how many cats is too many cats?
That's a tricky question.
No, it's not. Is it? More than two is a problem, I feel like.
It depends on where you live and whether they get to go outside, I think. If you lived on like a farm, like some rolling pastures, you had some other animals that the cats could patrol around.
I'm getting a vibe here. How many cats do you think is too many cats?
Once you get above 5, I think, that's like dangerous territory. But I could see 15 cats working really well in the right situation.
Why would you ever need more than 2 cats?
It's not about need. Why do you need 1 cat? They never do anything.
That's true, all they do is make me sneeze. I'm allergic.
So am I, and I still have one.
Let's go to Caitlin Taylor for the postmortem. Why did Ryan call Mo and B's marriage unconventional for the time? If that happened today, there would be a documentary about Mo with surviving in front of his name. That's nasty. I love you both, but more of a Shaniac. The Mo B Moose love triangle, big fan. I think it's great. So it was Mo, Meyer, and Bugsy that grew up together. Mo was sending casino numbers from the Flamingo back to Meyer on the East Coast. And then Bugsy apparently found out about this, decided I'm going to kill Mo. That word got to Mo, he told his wife. His wife had a mistress or manstress that also was a big fan of Mo, and this man's name was Moose.
Gotcha.
And decided to help save Mo's life. So he's helping save the life of, I guess, the guy who is with the girl he loves.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because they have this weird kind of codependency.
Right, and it was if the first guy died, he wanted Moose to then marry his wife.
That was
Which is a weird thing to think while you're still alive.
It's a weird thing to include in your vows, that's for sure.
When Bugsy heard about the numbers being sent back to the East Coast, he was quoted as saying like, oh, I'm gonna chop this guy up and throw him in the blender in the casino. Like, that was basically the evidence to say that he was threatening this other guy's life.
It was
right?
a death threat by him saying.
Yeah, and I thought, maybe that's just how they talk all the time.
In the mob.
In the mob, you just like, oh, that guy over there, I could just scald his face with a soldering iron. Like, that son of a bit. Like, they're always just throwing out death threats like, oh man, I stepped in gum. I could really just gouge someone's eye out right now.
I get that. That could be endearment in the mob. Also, if you're in the mob, there's a lot of like, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of containment to you. You gotta have some fun.
For sure.
If that fun is saying you're gonna chop somebody up and put them in, you know, the garbage disposal.
Yeah.
That's all in good fun. I say that to Shane all the time. Michael Corder, for the postmortem, you mentioned that there was a total of 9 shots that were fired at Siegel, a total of 4 hitting him, killing him instantly by the gunman. by a military-grade rifle from the time period. The rifle that was shown was an M1 Garand, which is a 30 caliber gas-operated 8-shot clip-fed semi-automatic rifle. So why was there 9 shots fired? Maybe the gunman had some time to reload and popped one off for good measure to confirm the kill, or maybe it was a different kind of rifle. P.S. Me and my girlfriend love your show. You got me. I'm sorry, I tried to slip one over you guys. I tried to get away with putting a Garand in front of you, selling it as a carbine. You got me. Take me to jail.
According to Wikipedia, there's a different gun that is a .30 carbine that does have a sufficient bullet load to fire 9 shots in a row.
Look, man, the guy shot a gun, he killed somebody. That's what you gotta gather from that. I know I didn't put the proper imagery in front of you, and I don't know the specifics about how the gun fires. Also, on this same topic, someone also from YouTube says, I'm Lee888 says, expert marksman misses 5 out of 9 shots from less than 50 meters. Basically poking fun at the gunman. Look, I've never fired a gun in my life, I will say that. But this is a non-moving target. He wasn't doing P90X in his living room.
Maybe the newspaper was obscuring the view of the man, so you just had this big paper rectangle, and you were like, I don't know where his head is. Maybe it's cocked to one side.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Do you think that newspaper had a bunch of holes through it?
Oh yeah, the newspaper was turned to dust after that, for sure.
God. I bet you that newspaper's in a museum somewhere.
I think that he probably, like, the first shot missed, and then he started like, oh, I gotta get out of the way, and that's why it was, yeah. So he was like lunging, and that's why most of the shots missed.
The fact that the assassin knew where he reads the newspaper and when to show up is a big fact that I don't think should be glossed over, because the only person who would know that, besides Bugsy himself, is Virginia Hill, who was his mistress.
J Forbes 22. You run a show about death and mystery. Would you say that's accurate?
I would say that's accurate, yeah.
You run a show about death and mystery. If you could choose, would you want your death to be a mystery?
Sounds like a veiled threat to me.
It does, very threatening.
What's your objective here, J Forbes 22? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to make me scared? Just know that I can't get scared. I would like to say that I think it would be very fun for my death to be a mystery, for me. But for everyone that knows me, probably not as much fun.
I think I would only want my death to be a mystery if I was in on the mystery.
Oh,
like, I don't want to be kidnapped and murdered and then nobody knows what happens. I want to like stage an elaborate disappearance where everybody who cares about me knows that I was all good and I just like sailed off into the sunset, but for everybody else, mystery.
So you would essentially then make a really twisted scavenger hunt to find your body, so that when you die and everyone's like, we really want to pay respect to Andrew and give him a proper burial and just send him off right. And now they have this ridiculous scavenger hunt in front of them that you
don't think that sounds fun?
Remind myself not to get too attached to Andrew because I'm gonna be very sad one day. I think Shane would love that, by the way. I think it's pretty sick. I think Shane would love it. He's at nature a nihilist and an anarchist at the same time. I think he would love no one knowing where he is. Let's go to BuzzWeeze, our good friend BuzzWeeze. How are Night Night and Legs doing, folks? That's basically Shane and I's mob nicknames. A lot of people, I saw a lot of questions out there asking about what are our mob nicknames. Mine was Night Night Bergara.
Why?
I was saying it's because I say night night right before I kill you. And then I said, oh, maybe I'll draw like little Z's on their forehead.
Yeah, but imagine if they misunderstood it as a Harry Potter scar. And they were like, there goes that Harry Potter killer.
Well, that's why I have the night cap on.
You'd be like, damn it, Night Night killer.
The night night cap on. And then Legs, I don't know what he would do for that. Legs is self-explanatory. It's like the last thing you see. You hit the floor like, oh, I've just been shot, and all you can stare up at is those long, long legs that just keep going. You know, Shane's big old legs. What would your nickname be?
Easy one for me, Silent J. The last letter of my last name is a silent J, and Silent J just sounds scary. Silent
J either sounds like a rapper, or it sounds like somebody smoking in the school parking lot, trying to avoid detection. Night Night Bergara, Silent J, and Legs. Oh no, Silent J and Madej. Oh my God!
Midday also has
Midday
a
is
silent J.
I think you may have to think of another one.
You can't take mine.
I just did.
What if we were Night Night and the Silent J's?
Night Night and the Silent J sounds like a Motown band.
Let's start it up. Alternate career commences now.
Send all your fan art of Night Night and the Silent J's to Andrew.
Paige Pugmire. My question is, if it really was McDonald, why would he off himself 3 months after the Siegel incident? I mean, he had just gotten out of debt to the mob, and it seemed like things were finally going his way. I think the fact that he did it with the same kind of gun is circumstantial evidence at best. Interesting.
I don't think he killed himself, but
yeah,
I don't want to undermine whatever marital discourse may have been going on there. He may have been a very bad man and had like a bad marriage, that whole thing, but this to me seems like the mob tying up its loose ends.
Right. Yeah. Just like a double cleanup murder.
That's why I would never feel comfortable being hired to kill somebody by the mob, because I would know that as soon as I killed that person, I am now the only thing that could tie them to that murder. So it's like a vicious circle, right? This is from Lauren J. Maybe the car zooming off was just some guys from the mob watching to make sure the job got done. It didn't necessarily have to be the shooter escaping. I also think that it could have just been some dude, you know, getting his rocks off, going fast, doing a little drag racing on the street. Do you think the car zooming off was definitively the shooter escaping?
No.
I don't think so either, but.
Also, if let's say that I was, going on a date, I found somewhere to park, doing a little funny business in my own car and minding my own business. If I suddenly hear 9 gunshots, I'm gonna peel out. You know, if I'm just some innocent bystander and I hear 9 gunshots,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna gun it anyway.
You're parked in front of someone's house, you're doing a little smooching, you hear the guns. Yeah, you're gonna get out of there.
Yeah, it's Beverly Hills, you know, nice quiet streets.
What if the danger turned you on? I realize it made it seem like the danger would turn me on. I think we all know what danger does to me. It's getting out of there. I don't think that necessarily means it was the killer storming off. It is something though that is consistent with testimony. A lot of times with these cases, there will be something like, we all heard dogs barking, like the OJ case. That's how people connect timeline. But Shane had pointed out in the episode, and this was actually a good point, which is rare for him. He said that the car peeling off could have just been actually the killer, but it was a diversion, and it was actually McDonald who did the killing, even though he lived just like down the hill.
Right.
So he wants to take the cops away from where he lives, make it seem like it's not someone who's local. Pretty smart.
No, I think that's a great point. Even if I lived within a mile of the place I'm gonna do the murder, I'm not gonna walk. It's still gonna take a while. Like, still leaving yourself open to considerable risk of being caught.
Also, you're not going to your house the first thing after a murder. Not that I would know, but if I was murdering, I wouldn't go straight to my house.
No, you're gonna like dispose of the weapon or something.
I'd go to Shane's house. And he'd go to jail forever. Now it's time to move into everyone's favorite segment, Roast Mortem. This is a segment where we read comments of fans taking us apart.
Roasting
It's
it,
a lot of
gotcha.
fun. Roast Mortem time. Andrew, hit the first question. Let's go.
James Livermore 2 days ago on YouTube. Shane needs a STFU serum. Hashtag roast mortem.
How many flame emojis would you give that out of 10 for James Livermore?
Like half a flame emoji.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You just got roasted by your own roast.
Mythical Liv. Okay, but why does Ryan look like Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks dressed in my grandma's curtains?
That's pretty good. I love that shirt, first off. That shirt was given to me by me. I enjoyed it. And you know what? Your grandma has great curtains. She has great style. I'd like to compliment her. I'm not angry at that one.
It's a pretty regular looking shirt.
Do you think that looks like a grandma's curtain?
No.
See, he doesn't think so. My feelings aren't hurt. Let's move on. And this is ya boy, Faithu. Hashtag roast mortem. How much is BuzzFeed paying you to wear those grandpa shirts? No, it won't. No, it won't make you seem smarter, and popping the first button doesn't make it any less embarrassing. And put down the pen, Shane. You're not writing anything and you know it. That notepad is as blank as your fashion sense. Hashtag BuzzFeed Unsolved. And then he added us. He added Shane Madej and Ryan Bergara to make sure we read this comment. Joke's on you. I have that feature disabled. But actually the joke's not on you because I read it on the show. You got what you wanted. Good job.
So what have you got coming up on the show this week?
was just like Shane. This week's case is a serial killer case. We haven't done one of those in a while. I don't know why I said that so jovial. Serial killers aren't cool.
Boy.
But this week's case deals with that. I can't really say too much more other than that. It's gonna give it away, but it is interesting. Let's just say that. That does it for this episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem. Make sure you watch the episode this Friday and then send in your comments to the BuzzFeed Unsolved Instagram, the BuzzFeed Unsolved Facebook page, or comment directly on the video on Bun, and maybe you might be in the next episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem. Well, Andrew, that takes us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming along.
Thanks for having me.
Was that everything that you dreamed of?
Yeah, it was quite fun actually. Yeah, had a good time. Do you think Shane will be back next week? Or is he gonna have some other weather incident that keeps him trapped in some other far off state?
He keeps this up, he may have another incident that may ban him from the show permanently. Final question, what do you think about an Unsolved Worth It crossover?
I actually have an idea for that.